Alrighty. Hello, everyone out there in LinkedIn land. So this is the section where I ask that if you can hear me and if you can see me, this is coming through loud and clear. If you can type something in the chat box, you can just type OK. That'll let me know that this is being broadcast. Where are you from? So I think probably most of the people watching are going to be in Australia, but if you're from outside the country, let me know as well, because I really like to know. I picked up some connections recently in UK and North America, so that would be good. And as always, if there's something that you want to ask me as we're going through the live, feel free to ask the question in the chat, and I will ask again at the end of the session if you've got any last questions, and we can have a bit of a Q&A. And also, if this is your first time to watch one of these broadcasts, I do try to do a LinkedIn Live now every Wednesday afternoon. If you've got a particular topic that you've got questions about, or you'd like me to cover, then also feel free to let me know about that, and I'll try to include it in the schedule. What I've been doing is uploading these recordings to my YouTube account every Sunday night. So if you miss the live recording of it, then you can catch the replay on Sunday evening. And I suggest that probably a good thing for you to do would be to subscribe to my YouTube channel, so you get notified when those get uploaded, and also helps me to grow the channel as well. So keep that in mind. All right, so we might kick things off. Let me just jot down this music here. All right, so what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about funnel strategies to get eye care patients. So what you're going to learn in this session is what is and what isn't a marketing funnel. It's probably a term that you've heard a bit about, but I think there is a little bit of confusion around that as well. So why is the funnel concept important? How do you get people into your funnel, and how can you move them through the funnel? What is the essential ingredient in converting potential patients into an actual patient? And that's, of course, what we want. And what does a successful bottom of the funnel strategy actually look like? So we're going to cover all of those things. But first of all, who am I? So my name's Paul Talloway. I started doing digital marketing way back in 2008. I've been helping clients with WordPress websites mostly since then, and also SEO projects and other digital marketing in general. In December 2022, I launched Optics Digital Marketing to specifically help independent optometrists in Australia and New Zealand. Now I work more broadly with everyone in the eye care sector, so including ophthalmologists. I've written a few articles for My Vision Optometry magazine, which you should go and check out if you're interested. And if you want to go back and take a look at the first LinkedIn Live, which I did 4 weeks ago, I presented some case studies of clients that my agency has helped, and one of those, a contact lens specialist practice, we increased their web traffic by 60% over the course of a year. Another practice we worked with, they have a heavy focus on ortho K fittings. We managed to double their organic traffic within 4 months. Another practice I work with, we managed to increase his traffic, or we doubled his traffic in the space of a month, and he has a particular interest in dry eye treatment. And another practice, we 10x'd their growth. We 10x their traffic over an 18-month period, and they do many things, but amongst that is myopia control, and that's one of the things that we help them to grow. So enough about me. Actually, not enough about me, because I'm going to tell you a personal story. Okay, so I'm a snorer. All right, so I think I've been a snorer most of my life. After I got married, my wife started complaining about my snoring. Later on, my kids started complaining about it, and I thought, well, I'm not Robinson Crusoe in that regard. I mean, there are a lot of people who snore, and in any case, I thought, well, there's nothing I can do about that. So what I think, so I sort of lived with that for a long time. But then what happened one day was, while I think I was taking a nap, my wife took a video with a smartphone of me while I was asleep. And as I watched that video, I could see where I was, like, my breathing actually stopped, and it was almost like I was choking while I was unconsciously asleep, of course. And it just really didn't look good at all. And I also noticed that around that time I was starting to get really tired, after lunch in particular. Like the mornings weren't too bad, but after lunch, I just found I needed to take a nap. I was ready to crash. So something wasn't right there. So that prompted me to go to get myself checked out. The local doctor, she gave me something to, I think it just goes on your finger. You wear this thing on your finger overnight, and the information gets recorded on an SD card. And then I went back and saw her a few days later, and she said, yeah, you've got sleep apnea. So sleep apnea. So I thought, okay, well, I need to learn more about this. And the more I researched about it, I found out, it's really not good for your heart. It's not good for your brain. It's just a lot of bad things that come along with sleep apnea. So I thought, okay, well, this is something that needs to be addressed then. And I had some really sort of sketchy suggestions put to me, like just sew a tennis ball in the back of your pajamas, so you don't sleep on your back, and sleep with tape over your mouth at night, and really nothing that I thought was going to be plausible. And I thought surgery is probably the last resort. And then I learned about these things called CPAP devices. So CPAP, which stands for continuous positive airway pressure. And so, as you probably know, so you wear a mask over your face, and it pushes air through your breathing passages while you sleep, so you don't get that choking effect. So what you can see on the screen here, so this is my baby. This is my CPAP device, and so whenever I travel, this comes with me now. So there's a little carry bag and a mask that comes along with it. And I got the version that goes over your nose. There is another one that covers your whole face, including your mouth. Side story: I was staying at my sister's last year, and for some reason during the night we had a power outage, and the machine stopped. So I don't know what would have happened in that scenario where all of my breathing passages were covered in a mask and there was no air coming through. I presume I would have woken up on my own anyway. But anyway, I'm glad I got the nose version of it. And yeah, it's been great. It wasn't cheap. It was about $1,000 to buy. I had the first one for about 5 years. I replaced it a couple of years ago. So really happy with it. And so if anyone asks me, if anyone tells me that they've got a snoring problem, then I start a conversation with them now about my ResMed CPAP. This is an Australian company, by the way. So why am I telling you all this? What's this got to do with anything? Well, this is part of what we could term a customer or a patient journey. And I'll just go back a step here. So in that journey, it started off with me not recognizing that I had a problem. Then once I recognized I had a problem, understanding the seriousness of it, then understanding that there are solutions to the problem, then researching the different solutions, and then finally choosing one. I chose this CPAP machine because they had, like, good reviews, and saw people in forums talking about it, that sort of thing. So that's a journey. So what you would want to do as a healthcare practitioner is to help people along the same sort of journey as me, with eye care, of course. So helping people who don't initially know they've got a problem or don't understand the seriousness of it, understanding what options they have available, getting them to recognize and trust that your solution is the best, and then finally taking action. So that's that patient journey we could also call patient funnel, or a marketing funnel. So a funnel is not a tool, it's not a piece of software, it's a concept. Okay, there is some software around called ClickFunnels that was launched by a guy called Russell Brunson a few years ago. And so when people hear the term funnels, I think a lot of them, their mind goes to that. But all he really did was implement some software that really executes on this concept. So the idea here is that the idea behind a marketing funnel is that it takes most people several interactions before they've learned enough about what you do and developed enough trust that you can deliver what you promise before they take decisive action with you. And one of the common analogies that I've heard is that it's a bit like most people want to date a few times before they decide to get married. It takes time to sort of build up that trust and work out if that this is the right person for me. So in business, it's not so dissimilar. You've got to get yourself noticed out there in the marketplace, but you also got to build up that trust with people before they become ready to take action with you. So, by the way, I have heard of people getting married after just 2 weeks. So no judgment at all. Yes. So why is the process described as a funnel? Well, as you go through each phase, like the phases that I described for you, there is some attrition. Okay, so the number of people who exit at the bottom of that process is going to be fewer than those who began the journey. Maybe just some people, just their priorities shift. Maybe the timing's just not right for them. Maybe they decide that they're going to continue with the journey, but in somebody else's marketing funnel, not yours, for whatever reasons. But that fact that there are a greater number of people who begin the journey with you than who finish is why we call that a funnel. I think most people understand that. So your challenge is to be the healthcare provider who patients interact with at every step on that journey, from not knowing they have a problem to not valuing a solution to the problem, to not understanding what those solutions are, and until they reach a point where they trust that your solution is the best option for them, and then they're ready to take action. So whether that be through LASIK eye surgery, whether that be dry eye treatment, whether that be upgrading to a premium pair of sunglasses, whether that be bringing their kids in for ortho K fittings. I think that in healthcare, and particularly eye care, people aren't just going to marry you on the first date. They're going to need to sort of become familiar with who you are, what you do. They're going to need to understand what all the options are before they're ready to commit. So that's why I really want to emphasize that this is a journey that you're taking patients on. So how do people move through the funnel? So fair enough. They might learn about you. They might visit your website. They might visit your Facebook page, your Instagram account. Most people come to that first interaction through one of three ways. So first of all, there's word of mouth. So that would be friends, family, or a professional referral. Let's put that under word of mouth for now. And I think a lot of people, I think a lot of practitioners, they kind of use that as a little bit of a crutch, in the sense that they say, well, I don't need to do any marketing because, we already get plenty of patients through word of mouth. And I think if that's working out for you, then all power to you. But in my mind, relying on word of mouth is a bit like planting a vegetable garden and then just hoping it rains. You might get no rain when you really need it, or too much rain when you don't. So how much better, or how much easier would life be if you had like a garden tap or a sprinkler that you could just turn on and off when you needed to? So think of your marketing strategy as that sprinkler, that faucet that you can turn on and off to get the patients when you need them. So word of mouth is great. It has a lot of benefits. Comes with a huge trust factor immediately, but it does have some caveats to it. Paid advertising is another one. So Facebook, Google, even print media. I know some people still do print media, local newspapers, that sort of thing. So that's a way that people can find out about you. Content marketing. So if you've got a blog, and you should have one, by the way, but when you create an article, when you publish an article about something related to healthcare, when you post something on social media, Facebook, Instagram, when you post a new video, all of these things, these can be ways that people learn about you in that first instance. But you want more than just a one-time visit to your website or your social media account. How can we get that continued engagement? How can we get people coming back again and again and again? So one option is paid remarketing. So and big companies do this all the time. There's you probably experienced it if you visit one website. Let's say it's a website because maybe you went to Amazon and you were looking at you were looking at some brand of shoes, for example. Then every other website that you go to, there's some banner ad that advertises the same brand of shoes. It's like they're stalking you around the internet. So that is a typical kind of Google display ad remarketing campaign. And of course, whether it's Google or whether it's Meta, remarketing costs money. Like those ads aren't for free. So you have got to have some kind of budget behind it. On top of that, when it comes to health, when it comes to clinical services, there are some restrictions in Google and Facebook's terms and conditions around remarketing to people based on health conditions. It's called their health in personal advertising policies, and they both have sort of similar terms and conditions, which basically say, look, we're not cool with you retargeting people based on clinical services. So for optometrists, fortunately, the retail side of it's a bit easier. Like if you want to do retargeting based on your sunglasses range or your prescription lenses or whatever, then that's sort of outside of those caveats. So you're fine there. But for the clinical stuff, yeah, it can be a bit more challenging. So is there an effective and affordable alternative then to paid remarketing? That's the question. So if you understand what I've been talking about so far, I'd like you to type a 1 in the chat. Okay, just give me a sign of life. Just type 1 if what I've said makes sense so far. Just type the number 1 in the comments. All right. So yes. So what is the alternative then to paid advertising? Well, email. Email is the secret weapon of especially small business marketing. So email has got an impressive return on investment, impressive ROI. According to HubSpot, it's about $36 for every $1 that you spend. 36 to 1. All right. Thanks, John. Thanks, Simone. Thanks, Ewan. Appreciate that. So yes, email. So and it really breaks my heart that more eye care practices aren't doing email. I did a survey a couple of years ago now, and from memory, it was only something like 10% of optometrists had even had a newsletter sign up form on their website. And so I think it's a very underutilized opportunity, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe because maybe because email's been around for a while. It's not the cool kid on the block anymore. Everyone thinks, when they think about marketing, they think about TikTok or Instagram or something like that. But email marketing has been around for a while, but it's still amazingly effective, especially for small businesses. Yes. So after somebody opts into your email list, that means they give you their permission to contact them again. You can keep that engagement going basically for free. I mean, to get even a paid account with one of the email marketing platforms like MailerLite or MailChimp, it's not expensive. It's like $20 a month or something. So it's very affordable, and you can just keep that engagement going until such time as either they're ready to take action. That might be a month from now, might be 6 months, might be a couple of years from now, but you can just stay top of mind, or until they decide they don't want to hear from you anymore and they choose to unsubscribe, and that's cool too. So I've got no complaints if people decide to unsubscribe from my emails, because the last thing I want to do is be sending out emails to people who don't want to read them. It doesn't do them any good. It doesn't do me any good either. So it's actually by law, you've got to have an unsubscribe link on every email that you send out. So I think I mentioned about newsletter sign-up boxes, and I think it's better than nothing, but most people are not going to enter their email address into something like that, because we've already got probably too much mail. So who needs another random newsletter? I think you've got to be more intentional and more specific about what you're offering. So I think it works much better if you can offer something of value up front, and then after someone subscribes, then they get the thing that you promised, of course, but then you follow that up through a drip campaign. And this is usually an automated sequence of follow-up emails that could be like every 2 days, every 5 days, every week, whatever, for a period of time. And through that sequence, you sort of guide people along this patient journey. You educate them about whatever it is that they're concerned about. You educate them about what it is that you're offering, and so on. So this is how you stay in touch with them at every point along that funnel, at every point along that patient journey. So you can use that drip sequence to introduce people to your best content, whether that be like a video that you've made or a blog post you've written, maybe a PDF guide that you've created. So email marketing can be really effective that way. Like I've got there are a few marketing influencers. I'm not sure influencers is the right word, but there are a few YouTube channels that I've followed, and guys who are sort of like well known in the marketing field, and I've subscribed to their email their email lead forms to download something in which I got value from. And now I look forward to their emails. I look forward to seeing them turn up in my inbox every week. And if I was going to take action and maybe get a mentor or something, I know immediately who I turn to, because these people, they keep turning up, and I keep appreciating the value that they provide. So just before we move on, I've got one of you guys. Unfortunately, I don't have a name here, but he or she says organic ads are really good to engage with the community pages. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by community pages. Would you be talking about like a Facebook group then, or are you just talking about like your Facebook business page? But either way, if somebody's following you on Facebook, then that's definitely a way to keep that conversation going. Is like getting people to like your Facebook page and posting regularly to it is one way of like getting your content in front of them. I think also like boosting posts, and because you can boost a post to people who like the page, and that can be a really good way of making sure that your content reaches them, because Facebook does kind of throttle the free content to some degree. So what is the essential ingredient for converting potential patients into actual patients? And the essential ingredient here is trust. I think trust is the currency of business. I think you're much more likely to do business with someone that you know, like, and trust than anyone else. So, and the way that you can build that trust is by posting regularly to your blog. If you've got a blog, again, you should have one, through your social media accounts, to YouTube, or through turning it up in people's email inbox. So LinkedIn user just said, Facebook have community groups that allow you to share posts. Yeah, so the Facebook groups, I think you're talking about. And Facebook groups are great, by the way. They do take a bit of a commitment to keep them going, and so you need to be nurturing your community, is what I'm getting at here. But if you've got the time and the motivation to start a Facebook group, yeah, for sure, I agree 100%. Facebook groups are a great way to do that. So with like most of you eye care practitioners, if you're an optometrist, a lot of your patients you might only be seeing every couple of years, and even then only for 20 to 40 minutes. So it's kind of hard to build. I think, I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. I think it can be hard to sort of build up the trust factors if you've got such a narrow window of opportunity. And I think you run the risk of becoming a commodity service in that case. I think that, if people don't see you that much or that often, then maybe they're starting to think, well, I wonder if there's anyone else around who's maybe more convenient, or, they're open better hours, or they've got easier parking or something like that. I think you do run that. I think you do run that risk. But by staying top of mind with people, by having an online active presence, you can break that limitation by staying by constantly turning up in their inbox, by providing value, by answering the sort of questions they have, filling the information gaps that they have. This is how you can differentiate yourself from the crowd. So you become not just their first choice, but effectively their only choice when it comes down to who they're going to pick for, some sort of especially more premium service offer. So I think email marketing is kind of like the lifeblood of your marketing funnel. It's how you can move people through through the various stages of their journey. Um, but I think that like every email that you send out should have some kind of micro action included in it. And that could be just something as simple as clicking on a link to your blog to read your blog article, or clicking a link to see some video in your YouTube channel, or clicking a link to visit your Facebook page and like your page. But I think it's always good to include some sort of micro action. But it's also important at some point you've got to challenge them to take the main action, whatever it is, the main thing that you want them to do, the thing that you know is going to be good for them and beneficial for them, whether that be dry-eyed treatment, whether that be bringing their kid in for ortho K fitting, whether that be having a conversation around LASIK surgery, whatever it is. But you've got to make sure that you challenge them to take that action. And I think also it doesn't hurt to raise the stakes either by just reminding them of like, what are the costs of not taking action. And I think you've got a responsibility to do that. So I know everyone sort of like throws their hands up and says, "Oh, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be salesy." Like that's probably the biggest offensive label that you can put on someone today, is to call them too salesy. And I get it. I understand that. But I also think that, like as a healthcare professional, you have a duty to advise people of what's going to be best off for them, because people are ignorant and they're sort of trusting you to fill in the gaps in their knowledge and open up potential pathways for them. A lot of people are chronic procrastinators. And so with such people, often they need just something just to push them over the edge, just to get them to take action, right? So we call this fear of missing out, or FOMO. So FOMO is a powerful motivator. So even if it's something as simple as like a pair of Polaroid sunglasses, if you book an ortho K custom fitting before the end of this month, right? So I know it works on me. Like if I think there's some sort of like freebie that I can get, or some extra discount that I can get, and there's a deadline, then I'm much more likely to take action on it. And I don't think I'm alone in that regard. So, okay, so they come in, so you've nurtured them through this journey. They've come in, they've had their consultation. They've said, okay, I want a new pair of like the latest Tom Ford prescription glasses. They've said, okay, I'm ready for this LASIK surgery, whatever it is. The journey doesn't end there. Okay, so I think that we need to just pause for a moment and recognize this also. So many successful brands know the value of upselling and cross-selling, right? Was that dirty word again, selling? But I don't know if it's actually true or not. But the story that often gets told is that McDonald's doesn't make any money on their hamburgers, but they make all the money on the fries and the drinks that they sell along with it. Which is why when you go through the drive-through, the staff always say, "Would you like fries with that?" So, so I think that like in an eye care setting, if somebody comes in for a new pair of glasses or to get their prescription updated, why not have a conversation with the patient about contact lenses? I remember reading an article, I think it was in Insight magazine a little while ago, where they quoted a statistic, and it was kind of a big surprise to me that something like 40% of optometrists never even have a conversation with their patients about contact lenses. So I find that a little hard to understand. Maybe it's because they're pressed for time. I'm not sure why. Same as like if somebody comes in for say meibomian gland expression, and you've got an IPL machine there, and that IPL would be would be helpful for them, or red light therapy setup. Why not have a conversation with them about that? So that kind of upselling, it's gonna enhance their life. That's also good for your business, so it's a win-win. So cross-selling also is something else that you shouldn't forget about. Like I've got a client who does a lot of scleral lens fitting, and of course scleral lenses are great, but one of the challenges with them is some people struggle like with putting them in. They're a little bit different from the regular soft contact lenses or even regular RGP lenses. But in his practice, he sells there's a device that actually assists people with doing that scleral lens insert, and I'm sure he makes some kind of markup on that. But again, you're helping the patient and you're helping yourself. It's a win-win situation. So don't forget about the cross-selling and upselling. This is all part of the funnel. And I think that I recognize that time is kind of a constraining factor here when patients come in. So one of the things that you can do is try to prime your patients before they come in. Like if somebody's booked a consultation with you, maybe you can give them some literature beforehand about the full suite of opportunities that you have. What I've done with some of my clients now is I've got some interactive quizzes that they've got on their website. So even for patients even people who aren't yet their patients, they can come to their website, take a quiz, and learn about dry eye treatment, learn about ortho-K, learn about myopia control, learn about pediatric optometry. And then when they come in, they're already like a well-educated patient, and a well-educated patient is a lot easier to have those sorts of conversations with. You're not wasting time going over the basics. So that priming can be a really good way of getting people through those final stages of your funnel. And I think, like, who is your ideal patient? I think your ideal patient is going to be someone who becomes an advocate for you, advocate for your practice, an advocate for your brand. So, I think you should consider ways that you can incentivize your patients to become these advocates. So I've got a couple of clients at the moment where we are running a patient photo contest. So it's exclusively for their patients, but what they can do is take a selfie of wearing their favorite pair of eyewear and upload that to a special competition page, and then they get their friends and family to come and vote on those selfies, and at the end of 3 months, whoever's got the most votes wins like a $500 pair of sunglasses. So you're really incentivizing the people who are your patients and who know you and like you and trust you. You're giving them some incentive to get out there and spread the word and become the evangelists for your business, and make it easy as well. So this is something else where email marketing can help. So by through email, if you provide them with a shareable piece of content, like could be a link to your latest YouTube video where you talk about the benefits of myopia control, they're more likely to go ahead and tell their friend if they've got something that they can share themselves. So incentivize and make it easy. Does that all make sense? So if everything I've said makes sense so far, could you type a 2 in the chat box? I'd really like to know before we move on. Or if you've got a comment, or if you've got a question, please let me know. Right. So what are the takeaways and action points that I'd like you to take from this point? So speaking of taking action, so I think one thing you can do is, if you don't have a free email marketing account yet, then you should go out there and sign up for one. Okay. So MailChimp and MailerLite. Thanks, John. So MailChimp and MailerLite, they're really popular options. I used to be a MailChimper, but I prefer MailerLite. But I think they're kind of like, much of a muchness. And there are some other, and there are probably dozens of different email marketing options out there if you have another preference, but those two are popular. Second thing I'd like you to do is challenge your team to brainstorm some ways that you can incentivize people to join your email marketing opt-in list. Okay, so what are some things that you could offer people? So it could be like a freebie, like a PDF download, like download the 20 most frequently asked questions about kids' vision, something like that. So, you're giving away something for free. Or it could even be something more tangible. Like I know I've got one client who he's offering free multi-coating on the next visit for people who sign up for his email marketing list. So that works for him. So I've got another client who I believe is giving like a free bottle of eye drops for anyone who joins their email marketing list. So that, there are lots of different things that you can offer. What some of them are doing as well is having an iPad in the reception area, and so let's say that the sign up form is on the home page of their website. So they've got an iPad, they've got an iPad there, and it's always open to their home page, and there's a sign up box at the bottom on the page. So their staff know to tell patients, thank you for coming in. Look forward to seeing you again. Before you go, you might like to get this free thing that we're offering. All you need to do is just put your email address in today, and you'll get an email with the free thing in it. Whether that be like a discount code or coupon code or a downloadable or whatever it may be. So I think you've got to really include your staff in the process. I think that these types of things, they either succeed or fail based on how much buy-in you get from your team. If it was me, if it was my practice, what I would be saying to my guys is, look, I want to set a target this month. I want to get 20 new signups for our email marketing list, and if we can do that, I'm going to shout everyone pizza for lunch. Right? Pizza's not expensive. So I want you to think about that. And the last thing is think of a FOMO campaign, a fear of missing out offer that you could implement at a strategically important time of year. So probably it's a little bit late for a back to school campaign, but I mean, you probably in January, February, you could think about doing some sort of campaign that offers maybe like 50% off kids' frames by the end of February, whatever it is, So just something like that where the numbers make sense. But fear of missing out is a powerful motivator, I think. So, and it's it should be part of your funnel strategy, part of getting people to take that action at the bottom of your funnel. All right, so now we've got time for a bit of a Q&A. If anyone's got any questions they'd like to ask, it's now or never. So if you've got something you'd like to ask, pop it in the chat. Or if you're a bit shy and you'd like to reach out to me privately, you can do it through any of these, through my website, which is opticsdigital.net, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn, or email me directly, or check out the YouTube channel and subscribe to that so you get notified of those Sunday evening uploads, as I mentioned. All right, so it looks like we've got a bunch of quiet achievers, so no one's got any questions. So I think we might leave it there for this week. So I'm going to try and do these every Wednesday for as long as I can. So, okay, here we got a question here. Does offering a freebie affect your credibility? Yeah, well, I don't necessarily see that it does. I mean, the big corporate chains, they offer all kinds of incentives, don't they? So, I mean, you can make your own judgment call on that, whether you're comfortable with it or not. But I think it's definitely something that you can at least experiment with. Okay, so Ewan, you've got a question. This information has been great, but can you explain what you offered to get us going? Okay. So if you need a hand with setting up an email marketing platform, for example, like I can certainly help you with that. Optics Digital Marketing can help you with that. So what that could entail is working with you to figure out what kind of a lead magnet you have in mind. Okay, so what is the offer? What is the thing of value that you're offering to get people to join your list? So if it is some sort of a PDF download, then we can help you create that in a sort of like a professional format. We can also help set up the drip sequence. So if somebody signs up for your email marketing list, they get these timed auto emails going out. So, and like figuring out what the content of each of those should be, when they should go out. We can even look at how we can segment those drip campaigns. So like let's take the case of like Ortho-K. So somebody who signs up to learn more about Ortho-K, do they want to learn more about Ortho-K for themselves as an adult? Because Ortho-K, of course, has lots of benefits for adults. Or do they want to learn about Ortho-K for their children, for their child? Because that is, like there's a separate message that you probably want to share with that. So we can work out how to segment your email marketing campaign. So that if somebody signs up for adult Ortho-K, they get one series of drip emails, and if they sign up for kids Ortho-K, they get a different set of emails. So my agency can help you with all of that. If you want to talk about like how do we feed the beast? How do we get more people to sign up to get in this email marketing list? Then maybe we can also have a conversation around paid ads and paid ad strategy. I think Facebook is, Facebook to me is a very good platform for that top of the funnel type of marketing. It's not so good for the bottom of the funnel, where if you're in a hurry to get people to book things today, probably Google is a better option. But if you've got time and you're more patient, then I think Facebook is a good place to actually feed that engagement through Facebook ads. Facebook have got something called lead forms. They have a form that appears on your Facebook feed, and somebody can enter their information directly into that. So they never leave the Facebook environment, which is good, because Mark Zuckerberg is going to love you for that. So you're going to get I think better conversions from people staying on the platform than if they have to leave. And I think that also the ads are going to be cheaper as well, because, as I said, they want you to keep people. They want to keep people on their platform. So I hope that answers your question. All right. Well, if nobody's got anything else, we'll wrap it up there, I think. And if you've got something you want to ask, the YouTube comments are always another venue. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for turning up. Until next week. Bye for now.